The first time that I found out that my boys were in foster care, I was sitting in jail. I was on the phone with my father. I asked how my boys were, and he told me they had just been placed in foster care. And I just remember feeling completely defeated and helpless, terrified that they were with strangers.
So I first met Sammy 2 or 3 months after we had the boys, so we had already had time to bond with the boys.
I remember the first time I met Sarah, and she just said, well, we'd be willing to adopt the boys if that was an option. And I remember my heart just sank. I just thought that this was gonna be the fight for my life, that I was gonna have to fight this upper-class white woman to death to get my children back. When I first had the boys, I was in a very unhealthy relationship with their father. We were both in active addiction. We were both living a lifestyle that was not adequate for raising children. And I knew that at the time, and I didn't have a lot of support to get out of it.
The more that we invested our lives into the boys, the more that I really began to create this narrative within myself that my husband and I were the best parents for the boys because, you know, Sammy she had unstable housing, she didn't have a job, and I thought, you know, how is she ever gonna be able to take care of these boys? Unconsciously, I think I was rooting for her to fail, which really created a lot of tension and not a collaborative partnership in working with the boys. So there was a moment where we sat down for an FTDM. I recognized how oppressive the situation was, in that everyone was trying to convince her that she shouldn't keep the boys. I knew in that moment that if anyone was gonna be her advocate to get the boys back, it was gonna have to be me.
I remember Sarah looking me fiercely in the face saying, nobody's saying you can't do this. And to me, that was a light of hope, a spark of hope in a very distant, dismal place, a very dark place that I was going.
And I think at that point, I did know in my heart that Sammy was able to care for the boys. She just needed someone to believe in her. And so from there, things just started getting better and better in terms of our relationship and the boys, Marcel and Marcos's connection to me and Sammy together. We decided that we would both put our own fears and insecurities, shame, etc. aside so that we could really figure out what the boys needed. And again, what was best for them was to go home to live with Sammy.
We can work together to build and create a beautiful family, and it doesn't have to stem from fear. Sarah is still one of my fiercest friends. She has shown me love that I haven't ever seen.
We are a very blended family with a daughter who's adopted, a daughter who's a birth child, and then extended family of Marcel and Marcos and Sammy who feel like a part of our family.
Her and her husband both have welcomed me with open arms into their home, into their lives, into their families' lives. She opened the door for a relationship to happen, and it was my choice to walk through that door. So a little compassion and love goes a long way.